Thank you for joining me as TMI. And I did say that we're going to be looking at a very sensitive topic, which is on the Petroleum Industry Act, evaluating the imperatives. And discussing this vital topic with me, I have an array of distinguished personalities. And in the middle of this array, I have immediate past chairman, ASU, Uniben chapter, and he is the head of department, chemistry, University of Benin, and he is Professor Julius Iyasele.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Having me. Good morning, viewers.
Professor Julius Iyasele, thank you for coming again.
Thank you very much.
All right, next to Professor Julius Iyasele, by his left, I have an author and political analyst, and he is Frank Ehioson. Thanks for joining me, Frank.
Quite a pleasure.
It's been quite a long time.
Yeah, so true.
Good to know you're in Benin.
Thanks.
And at my immediate left, I have also a public affairs commentator, and he is Idris Zekeri. Thanks for joining me, Idris.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, I start with you, Professor Julius Iyasele. We'll look at the watershed moment that people see as this creation of the Petroleum Industry Act. Since the passage and the signing of the bill into law, it has brought a lot of prospects. What do you make of this? Do you think same?
Prospect indeed. Interesting to know. Just to let those who have not come across this word before, the sentence we have made before, that the Petroleum Industry Bill, as it were, since about 2008 has been on, that's close to over 13 years now, to try to get a law to regulate what goes on in the petroleum industry. They're talking about the downstream, upstream, you know. But that about early this year or thereabout, it was passed in the National Assembly, and then the president of the country has signed it into law.
Yeah, making it an act.
Yes, that is just to at least put paid to all the big carriings and all that have been on. But however, to what extent has it gone to assuage nerves? To what extent has it gone to, you know, settle the big carriings that have been on? Because, as it were, so many people have said, what is petroleum? Petroleum is a mineral resource that you extract from the earth crust. And there are so many minerals that are present there in Nigeria. This petroleum has come as a mineral in Nigeria to spoil a country like a spoiled child, since it was discovered in 1956. That is what we have seen here. But because there was the agricultural sector, there have been so many things that are going on. Do you understand that has helped this country? We have granite pyramids in the north, you have cocoa in the west, you have palm oil and the likes, coal in the east. But since it came, of course, like I said, spoiling Nigeria, everybody now looks at that. But suffice to say that you are sincerely, as a primary school child, learned of TMI in Jos and all that. So I've been asking, who were those mining things? And then recently, we have also seen that there is gold mine in Zamfara. So if we look at all of these, why is it that petroleum has now become, you know, a habitat, has now become taking center stage in the Nigerian economy? So that is what it is. But I just hope that passing this bill has come to rest all the curiosity in Nigeria. But let me tell you, immediately it was mentioned around 2008. I can tell you that the session of this country, some interest group went even to Ghana to go hold meeting on how the act should look like and all that. And today we are saying what we are saying, that the goose that lays the golden egg has been discarded, has been put in the dungeon, and no more close to the egg itself.
Okay.
That is what we are
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I think Frank Ehioson is going to be having a different narrative in that respect, because we look at the act, the provision it also comes with, because we are seeing NNPC no longer as business as usual, but it's going to be run as on a commercial basis, as a company, as a liability company limited. You know, so don't you think this will bring about much to investors, as in bringing investors to invest in the petroleum industry in Nigeria? What's your take?
First of all, I don't think I have a different perspective.
Really?
In quotes.
Yeah.
But looking at, like you put it right now, the law and bringing investment. First of all, I think that that the law was passed now, just like Prof. affirmed. It's cool, no doubt. They say better late than never. But that does not remove from the fact that time is never regained. What could have been done 15 years ago that wasn't done in more than 15 years, that is done today? What is lost in 50 years cannot be gotten back. Time lost is never regained. You may work hard to attain certain things that you dream of, but it doesn't mean that you get the time you lost. Any day that is gone forever. Now, I said that to affirm that it didn't just even start in that 2008. OBJ started it in 2000 when he set up the Oil and Gas Regulation Committee to profile some kind of regulations and harmonize the sector to enhance maximum benefit.
But as at that time, it wasn't a bill.
No, it wasn't a bill. I'm not saying it was an attempt
to set up the bill.
The system was in disarray. The law governing the system was passed in 1969. And time has evolved so much. Business concept models have gone beyond what the law was as at that time. That's why he set up the committee. But of course, I don't admire Obasanjo a number of fronts in that oil sector because I dislike him for so many reasons as far as it pertains to resource control in this country. That's a story for another day. Now, but in 2008, Yar'Adua had the audacity to put it before the National Assembly.
Yeah.
Of course, like he affirmed not too long ago, based on sectional interests, lack of unanimity, it couldn't survive. Jonathan came in 2012, sent another one. Same factor affected it. The other one came forth in 2017, where it was segmented into 4 components pertaining to the governance subsection, fiscal subsection, the host community subsection, and the administration subsection.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that equally hit the rocks. Now, it's a good thing that it's been signed today. Why I'm saying that, it wasn't signed because of the importance. I give credit to President Buhari, no doubt. But my conviction is that the signing of the bill is because the evil day is so close. It's the imminent danger that informed the signing of the bill. And it's unfortunate that Nigeria has been towing this trajectory for so long a time. Let me just digress a little. See, the NIMC Act, National Identification Management Commission Act, was signed on the 25th of May 2007, 4 days before Obasanjo handed over to Yar'Adua. That was 14 years ago. This is 2021. Not until 2020, when it seemed like Boko Haram, bandits, and so many people have been taking advantage of the lapses in the state called Nigeria. That was when the nation state now realized that they needed to implement a law that was signed and passed in 2007. So I am saying that Nigeria as a nation state for so long a time, as individuals, we are very hardworking. But as a collective, we seem to be caused with unseriousness and incapacity. It's unfortunate. Now, did they have to get to the point where bandits have become so effective for the law that was passed to stem it to be given effect? It is now the rushing to say everybody should sign into the act. That's by the side. It applies to this same PIA. For the president, when he set up the study committee, he said something that caught my attention. He said in 10 years, not in 22 years, this republic has been for 22 years, the so-called republic. Now, if the president, in his own conservative estimate, could affirm that in 10 years we have lost over $50 billion, about $15 billion worth of investment, I could say that maybe if you take it back the whole 22 years of this republic, it can be more than $100 billion. Now, does it make sense that a country that is going to borrow $1 billion, $1.5 billion, $2 billion of its own accord allowed a simple act that could have been passed in a matter of weeks to make it lose such billions of dollars of investment? So I said, the act being passed presently is not something exciting in my opinion. It is good. Like they say, a bad law is better than no law.
But you are saying that it should have come earlier than this.
So much earlier. What we have lost, we cannot get back.
Okay, but like you also said, it's better late than never.
But see something else. Like I said, that it was the imminence of the danger that was imminent than the serious end of the law. MBS put forth their figures not too long ago. That was about 2 years ago, where they affirmed that out of 70 billion investments, okay, that was not for MBS, it was the relevant body internationally. Out of $70 billion investment that came to Africa in the oil sector, just 4% came to Nigeria. That's supposed to be the giant of Africa, with the highest reserve of crude oil and about the highest reserve of natural gas too. So if just 4% of 70 billion came to Nigeria, danger was imminent. So that was why they had to pass the law. Secondly, NNPC being the regulator has been driven in such a way that you could best describe as some kind of opaque Byzantine bureaucracy for so long a time. They ensured inefficiency, corruption, stealing of collective patrimony, on and on and on. Let me shock you with this information. The reason why the thing was not passed for so long a time is not because they didn't know it was good for the country. It was because it was easier to leave it unpassed so that money can be accessible. There's no accountability. Just anytime government needs money those days, the cash cow, you can collect 1 trillion.
That's your
collect
opinion.
2 trillion.
That's your opinion.
No,
yeah.
Yes, that's my opinion. I'm not contesting. That's why I said I will shock you with this viewpoint. Now, that's the reason why it was not done all this while. Now, because right now, the NNPC, where the money is coming from, is now set to hit the rock of disintegration. Danger is looming. That is why it has to be signed. Because it's not possible to sustain the law.
Thank you for giving us that articulation. But, well, like we said, you also said that better late than never. And let's look at the bright side, Idris Zekeri.
Well,
now, this is it's already an act. So we should look at how it's going to benefit us. Others are saying, how is it going to affect the common Nigerian man, the average Nigerian? Are we looking at the aspect of suspending the subsidy regime, which basically could be an option to the government to do that quickly? But what do you make of this? How do you see this act as affecting Nigerians?
We have a very short window to make our points, both on this program and on the Petroleum Industry Act.
Okay.
Now. Yes,
okay.
A very short window.
Okay.
Because the world is moving away from fossil fuel to greener energy. So we have, by my best guess, about 10 years to maximize the import of this bill, or we are going to lose out completely.
Of this act?
Of this act, or we are going to lose out completely.
Because it's coming late.
There's a portion of it that says 30% for exploration in the frontiers.
Yes.
You see,
as compared to 3% for development of those communities. I think there are a lot of bickering in that.
That 30%. Let's be clear of that. When we say frontiers, no, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the core north. It then means places that are not producing oil at this
but we have the Sokoto Basin involved.
Yes, the Sokoto Basin, the Lake Chad Basin, the Niger Basin, the Benue Basin, even close by here, Ogun State, Anambra, Kogi. Yes. So it's not necessarily the way, most of us in the south, once we hear anything that is not in the river and we hear frontier, we just think it's Maiduguri.
That could bring about the ripples we are having.
Yes, that's why. So it's good we inform ourselves that anywhere we are not producing oil now, that there are prospects of oil.
That's where the 30% is going
that's
for.
where to go to. Then again, you see the 3% is not just 3% for 3%. It's 3% of the actual expenditure of oil companies. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
For the host communities.
Yes, for the host community. Estimate around $500 to $550 million. That's not a joke. And this does not.
When you say $500 to $550 million, are you talking about monthly or yearly?
Yearly, of course. Okay. This does not take away the job of the NDDC, the job of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. You see how much has
so their interventions will still be intact?
They will still be there. You see how much has gone through the NDDC now? About 3 trillion, I mean 6 trillion. The one that is causing major repos in the Niger Delta. And you see all the major big men in the Niger Delta now are quiet. They are not quarreling again because somehow their hands are inside those contracts. That those money, people just collect money and refuse to do the job. Now all the big men in Niger, I've been waiting. The big men that once you talk oil, they will bring out their chest. They want to fight. They are all quiet now. So let's come back to PIA. You see, there are areas of, look, what does it mean? You see, all these things are jargon to the average man if they don't understand how it affects them. How does it affect the average man? We are talking of more money for government. And more money for government means more investment in the people, more investment in infrastructure, more investment in education, more investment in health. You still have to, it still boils down to the politicians and how they have played the game all the while. Then there's a particular aspect that has been bothering me that they talked about why it has taken this long. The question is a question I have also asked myself. Why did we have to wait 20 years to do something we can do in 20 days? It then means that the status quo, the previous arrangement had favored those in power. You see, the minister of petroleum, by the previous arrangement, was in total control of the NNPC and was also the regulator. So he was both a referee in his own match. He was a referee and a player in his own match.
Which would be different from
yes, this one. Now, this act, if it is implemented to the latter, you know, politicians are Maradonas. Not the Maradona that scored with his hand, but they are political Maradonas.
Politicians are Maradonas.
They know how to dribble.
You can't generalize.
Yes, all politicians are Maradonas. If you don't know how to dribble, you cannot play in the field of politics. Okay. That is the basic truth. Right. Now, if they don't dribble themselves again or dribble the Nigerian public, if they implement it to the latter, it will unbundle NNPC. It will make NNPC an independent entity, a limited liability company, a profit-making company. Let me shock you. You know, it shocked you with an information. And let me shock you with another one. You see, NNPC since creation has never made profit until this year. How do you explain that? That a big company as big as NNPC has never made profit. 40 years plus of creation. 44 years.
It's not showing like it's
no, it's not like it's not showing. According to their own account, they have never made 1 naira in profit until this year.
It seems shady.
Yes, 200. That means a lot of water has gone under the bridge. That is why people prefer to work in NNPC than to even be ambassadors to other countries.
That profit is suspect.
Well, thank you, Idris. So that's what you just stated now. Yeah, this gives us a brighter side.
Of course.
And you made mention of the 30%. I was equally concerned about the 30% for frontier explorations for the inland basins. And I'm also concerned about the 3% development for those communities.
Quickly.
You made your analysis of about 550
million.
That's the rough estimate. But do you take into cognizance the exploration, the damage, the effects of the exploration of oil companies in that area? Do you think that can go a long way or can go even halfway to cover the effect?
The bill, part of its lacuna, it also covers damages caused by oil spillage.
Yes, so that's
it covers it, but the problem with the bill is that it covers it from the day the president signed it. But there have been oil spillage.
Okay, I want you to come in there, Professor.
You see, I disagree with the narratives.
Okay.
Trying to legitimize what government is doing. The truth about it is that you come to equity with clean hands. If you want to regulate all minerals that are present in this country, then do it. Like I said at the beginning, that I knew of TMI in Jos as a primary school child. See, today, nobody is looking at that. Recently, I passed through that environment and I saw a lot of potholes. Several places is still being mined and then not controlled by government. No bill is made or act has been passed in that area. The same thing, we'll be hearing of gold. You understand? Is it not one of these that they say is causing problems in Zamfara? What has government done concerning, the cost of gold? What it sells in international market? How is government looking at that? Government, if you have been able to hands off gold, if you have been able to hands off tin, then they talk about uranium, Sokoto. If you have be quiet about those ones, also kindly remove hand from petroleum.
But you can't say that the government is quiet about
No. Yes.
You don't know meetings that have been held.
What meetings? If they are nocturnal, if they are nocturnal, let them come to the open.
He has the floor.
Yes. So what we are saying here is, the soil in Niger Delta have been ripped off.
exactly where I was
have
going.
become barren.
Looking at the 3%.
Do you understand? The air that you breathe in the Niger Delta environment is polluted, highly polluted with PHBs and all of that.
Are you saying that the 3% is not enough to compensate?
I'm coming. What the people asked for was 10%.
Yes.
And then you are coming to give them 3%. Remember, one of the problems of some of the governors in the that governed under, or that were governors under OBJ, was because they made attempt to protest resource control, and that has become their problem till today. Forever attempting to, and all that. Everybody who talked about resource control in the Niger Delta became enemy to the Nigerian state. And then, what are we talking about? Some persons have knowledge. We are not fools in this country. History is there. That a time was when it was agricultural resource that sustained this country. You now made derivation to be by what you put to the center.
Is that not exactly what
you
the administration of the President Muhammad Buhari
you contribute to the center?
Looking at?
The
agrarian society you just spoke about.
I'm coming now.
It's a pivotal part of the administration.
I'm not looking at cosmetic issues. I'm talking about reality here. Okay, now, a time was, you say agriculture was what contributed or sustained Nigeria. You made it that those who contributed most must benefit most. Then, shortly after that, like I said, from 1956 before the early 60s, it became this same petroleum, the black gold, the crude oil, as it's called. Then, shortly, you now change it. And you now say, no, it shall not be by population. The sharing of Nigerian revenue will not be by population and no more by your derivation and all that. You see, some persons have played the fool in this country for too long a time. People are becoming aware and all that. And so that was what brought the agitation of resource control in the Niger Delta. Until today, what you have after even the PIA now is that you have a grave silence in the Niger Delta. I just hope it will continue to be like that. But if the Holy Spirit decides to wake those who are dead in the Niger Delta, there will be issues.
Okay, it takes the Holy Spirit for them to wake up.
Yes, there will be issues in that place because you can't lay the golden egg, and don't take part in it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll come back to you. Now, let's look at this, Frank, because I've been looking at this aspect of the 3% and the 30%, you know. I want you to throw light into this because it's causing ripples, like what Idris Zekeri said. Some are even thinking that it's going to be like the northern states benefiting more than those that lay the eggs, the goods that lay the eggs and all that. Is it the impression that they are given? Is that actually commensurate with the reality on ground?
No, it's not. But please just tell me. I was so elated.
You want to react?
Some bullets, wonderful, not bullet, nuclear weapons.
All right.
No, it's only the angle where the old sleep wake us up that got me. I weakened my. I wouldn't say weakened me per se. Now, I'm not talking from the standpoint of the spiritual component of discourse, where religion has seemed to be a source of mediocrity, is actually the factor of mediocrity in this country. Now, my point is this. All this stuff like you referenced, I've said it on this platform in the past, that the exploitation of our resources, the extent to which we have been shortchanged as a region, as a people, the South-South, can never be compensated for. It's just a fundamental truth. No matter what, there can be no compensation. But here lies the bad side of the story. We have people who represent us. We can't blame the North. There are 51 senators from the South, 57 from the North, one from Abuja, that makes it 58. That makes them 109. In the House of Rep, there is same divide. It's not possible for any law to be made without the components of both sides. So,
absolutely,
our people who are out there are the ones we ought to blame. If the bill as I tend to be presented, the recommendation from the House Committee was 10%. when they went to their joint committee sitting, it was reduced to 5%. We had, see the funny side of it. The chairman, there were two chairmen, co-chairmen, two co-deputy chairmen of the joint committee to look into this bill. All of them are from our side, from the South. What was their position? Where were they when that thing was altered? One senator from Katsina State stood up to move a motion. He made mention of a statement by the NDMPC GMD recommending 3%. That was not changing from 5% to 3%. Were our people not there? We are here talking. What was the position of our senators? Apart from a few that made some complaint. Omar stood up and he said, I'm talking as a senator right now, not as a deputy senator, but a senator from the... He barely said anything. Our people up there most of the time are concerned about their political benefits and personal benefits and not the interests of their region. So that we are sustained to the date is not because the
But you can't generalize. You can't say our people. You can say some.
Let me legitimize. Let me legitimize him. Let me legitimize him. Philip, let me legitimize him that even the minister of petroleum even suggested 2.5.
Yeah, part of it.
You mean the Minister of State?
Yes.
So
2.5.
Okay, if I come back to that point, I just want to support his motion. That's why I listed this talk. Now, if you read the 1963 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the provision was 50% electoral back derivation to the region that produces the resources.
Yeah.
Now 50% goes to the center. Now that 50% that goes to the federal government does not belong to the federal government in total. There is a 10% component that is called the distributable income. And federal government pays some regions that have disadvantage. That was how it was in the Constitution of 1963, in the First Republic. Now, when Adirossi took over government, just to emphasize, Adirossi, when he came back into the system, he did not change that system. The only thing Adirossi did was that the 10% distributable income was now not expended as expected in the sense that the regions cannot ask for it. But they still took their 50%. When Gowon took over, he did not change that pattern. It was just after the Civil War that Gowon made an appeal with Obafemi Awolowo as the Commissioner of Finance, Commissioner of Economic Affairs in the federal government, that because he needed money to rebuild the nation, after the 3 or 4 year Civil War, resource control should be reviewed. He now removed 5% from it. He brought it down to 45%. That was in 1971. So it was going, that's why I said I hate Obasanjo just now. It was Obasanjo that gave the greatest blow to resource control, and he's a Southerner. Northerners didn't do it to us. Okay. He brought it to the barest minimum. Murtala Mohammed did his own. It was to pretend that about 20%. Obasanjo almost estimated it completely, and he's a Southerner. Now that's the story for another day. So coming to the question that was concerning the 5%,
which you already treated.
3% and 30%.
Yes.
Now it's a story tale that we are where we are. But they say bread in hand is what not too anymore. 10 in the bush.
10 in the bush, yes.
The
one
yes.
Okay, can you also say this in this analogy that half bread is better than none?
Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now this 30%.
Okay.
30% did not come from the blues, so please.
Okay.
Let's put the narrative very clearly.
Okay.
The issue of frontier basin, it has been ongoing. It's just that in the law, it is not called Frontier Exploration Fund. As we are talking here, this year alone, 50 billion was earmarked in our budget that is being used to explore frontier basins.
Okay.
So it started in the time of the late NFC GMD. I read a piece where I was talking to the governor of Benue State, emphasizing the benefit of that. There is a likelihood that oil has been bombed. Look at the motivation. The oil majors, all of them did not want to go that way. They said they have gone to check some of those troughs, and there's no possibility of finding crude oil in commercial quantity. That's why they left it. So they just felt that it's obvious that they didn't stretch deep enough.
Okay.
If they not go deep enough, they may find.
Okay.
That is the drive. Now, I'm not against it ordinarily. Because like he said just now, we have just some few years window.
Yeah, to explore this.
In the next 20, 30 years, oil will lose its value. So whatever that is left of the ground, they want to look for it sharp so that we can maximize it.
Thank you.
I'm
3%. The $500 million.
Yeah.
It's not actually a yearly arrangement. It was just the calculation of the GMD. The difference to last year. Because the total investment last year by the oil IOCs was about $16 billion.
Okay, so
3% of it
fluctuates.
It can go higher.
3% of it translates to about $500 million.
Okay, but
Now, why is
but
good?
there could be other intervention funds, like
No,
you said,
see my point.
even the commission.
It is good.
NDC.
Our complaint about the 3% is that right now, in terms of that component, it's the best since all the bills they have been passing, they have been submitting since 2008 till date.
This is
the best. Because here at the last time, they said 10%. But that 10% was 10% of profit.
Okay.
So if you make losses,
you are your own.
Okay, let's look at this
But
subsidy regime.
the oil is gone is wrong, go.
Okay.
The oil that oil is gone is wrong. I'm an industrial chemist.
All right.
And I know that myriads of products are derivable from crude oil.
Okay, you expand on that.
The 50 billion we are talking about for frontier development actually is supposed to be funneled into derivatives from crude oil. That is, listen, there's anything structural now that is not derivable from crude oil. People are building houses with synthetic materials. People are building roads with synthetic materials. Many structures, cars, bodies, and all that are not more of metals and all that. These are derivable from oil. Various chemicals and all that are used in the industry are derivable from oil. And Nigerian ignorance, because some persons are in government for employment and without ideas. That is the basic truth. If we know what it is, world over, long time, people have been working on what you can get from this natural resource, as it were in the country appears to be inexhaustible and all that.
Thank you.
So,
I must say you just borrowed that time from Idris Pocket.
yes, I did. I
Idris
did.
basically take that time.
He will use my time. Yeah, Idris, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to end this scenario because Nigerians are watching, and it is their aim that, well, whatever is being done as per the act will be what will benefit them.
Yes.
We know, basically, as we speak, there's no plan to increase the petrol price. Yes. But basically, as we also speak, in the nearest future, we could be seeing the petrol price, jumping up. Now, if we are to do this, what do you think would be the impact on Nigerians? And again, looking at the subsidy regime, which the budget has been on over for year in, year out, where money has been spent to really subsidize fuel. Now, do you see this as really a pay transfer to the poor, per se, or even to those trading in petroleum products? So let's get this right.
It's good we situate the issues properly.
Okay.
You see, the subsidy regime, for example, it's important that we let people know that is the governors, the 36 state governors, that have been pushing hook, line, and sinker, tooth and nail to make sure that the subsidy is removed, because it will translate into more money in their hands. Everybody likes to blame Buhari. This is the new mantra. Yes, but it's important that we let our people know that the governor, your governor in your state, wants you to buy fuel at about 800 naira per litre. If they had their way, they would cease have removed the body.
But you can't say that. You can't say that because you don't have an authoritative statistics to say that.
This is the fact of the matter.
I think this is also presumptive.
To be honest, this is the fact of the matter. It is in public domain that the governors are pushing for the removal of fuel subsidy. You can find out. Then on the issue, I always don't want to blame others for my problem.
Okay.
The problem of the Niger Delta has been a Niger Delta problem. Let me explain. We have the NDDC. 6 trillion was funneled into the NDDC in about 20 years, and the money vanished into thin air. 13,000 uncompleted projects. In fact, they do project on top of projects. Lost 6 trillion. 6 trillion is not a joke. If you put 6 trillion in the 6 states of the Niger Delta, that translates to about 1 trillion per state. 1 trillion. Those state budget is about 150 billion. That's chicken fee. It means our 10 years budget, we can get it once from the NDDC if that money was funneled properly to do projects in each of the Niger Delta states. That is just NDDC. Ministry of Niger Delta has been there. It has become a cash cow. There's this other one that is stole billions again, the Presidential Amnesty Program. Just 3 Presidential Amnesty Program the Director Generals, billions have gone missing, unaccounted for. Billions. PAs to DGs were making billions in this country. Then we have Ministry of Niger Delta. Then we have the 13% derivation that has been paid to our governors over time. So when people want to blame all the problems of the Niger Delta on people that are not from the Niger Delta, I always don't want to agree.
Okay, you talk about monies being missing.
Yes.
But don't forget again that we have an administration which is fighting. So don't you think?
Let me explain.
That could be a time bomb.
Let me explain something.
For those who put their hands into such.
It just takes another president who is not interested to come, and these whole issues will die in natural death. Let me tell you something.
What it is now.
If you lose money, it is practically impossible to recover it back.
Wow.
Yes, because the person who stole the money has spent the money. You may punish the person from now till eternity, but the person who stole the money has already spent the money. That is why it's important not to lose money. One of the fundamentals of wealth, according to George Clayson, is never lose money. Once you lose money, it is gone. Okay. If you like arrest the person for the next 30 years, you are wasting your time. Okay. Now, what has been the problem? Why is it that when our Niger Delta boys go to Abuja and they see roads, they are shocked? How much they used to build Abuja? That we had 13% derivation, we had Ministry of Niger Delta, we had NDDC, we had Presidential Amnesty Program, and still the monies are missing. Look, our people are not just interested in building ourselves. That is the problem, our leaders especially. And when they talked about NDDC and everything vanished, let me give you a personal story. In 2019, I wanted to join the army. My name came out in the direction, so I went to Ibadan to register, to do the 3 weeks pre-training. And let me tell you, states from the north, some booked flight. Maybe there are 50 people from a state, from Katsina. They will book flight for those 50 candidates. The governor will pay them. We are all applying for the same job. Oh. The governor will pay them and send state delegates with them to that place. So when these military generals who are in the screening committee see these state delegates, if anything is missing in your file, you will get it as you are sitting there. Let's say you get there, your local government of origin, you forgot it in the house. They will call the governor will call your local government chairman. They will bring your local government of origin to come and meet you where you are sitting. Whereas most of us from the south, we in Edo State.
Nothing.
Our leaders did not even know that we went for anything like that.
But we can't tell if that was really what happened.
I am telling you, this is a personal story. We paid our transport from wherever you are, especially those of us from the south. And when I say the south now, both the southeast, the southwest, the south. We paid that. So the point is that, you see, this northerners, in another 10, 15 years now, those people who were my coursemate, who were supposed to be my coursemate in the military, some will be major generals, some will be lieutenant generals, but you will not see anyone from the south who will now begin to cry of marginalization. Okay. We are not interested in ourselves. Our people must be interested in ourselves. We must do things properly. We must spend the money that we get properly. Even if people want, even if some people from the north want to steal, they will still do road first. In the north,
so
they do a project.
I'll come back to you.
I'll come back to you. With this point, in the north, they do a project, and those who want to steal from the project are put in their pocket. In the south, we still are put in our pocket, and from our pocket, we are trying to do the project. That is the problem we have had.
Okay, thank you very much. In case you're just watching TMI, and we are looking at the Petroleum Industry Act, evaluating the imperatives. And I've been speaking with Professor Julius Iyasele, who was immediate past chairman of ASU, Uniben branch. And of course, he is the head of department, chemistry, Uniben. And I've been discussing also with Frank Ehiosun, an author and political analyst. And of course, Idris Zekari, a very articulate and erudite public affairs commentator. Well, you have the floor now.
Yes.
No. Let's situate what
is the resource?
Let's situate.
Is the what subsidy? Is the subsidy issue?
Yeah, exactly where I'm going. Yes.
I really want to talk about.
Yes. Are you at home with it?
How can I be at home with it?
Okay.
There's a lot of secrecy shrouded.
Okay, but if this act provides that it's removed.
Yes.
Now, are you not worried about the effect that could be coming on Nigeria?
What effect? What effect? How do you price a product?
Okay.
Is it not from the cost of producing the product? How much is it going to cost us to produce a liter of fuel? People have calculated before. Look at it. Yes, now it's by simple distillation process.
All right.
That you get, PMS, or you fractionate. That is the crude oil that is extracted from our earth crust.
Okay.
By simple distillation process, you get all the fraction from it. And distillation process is what the easiest you teach in basic chemistry.
So there are no hard rules to it.
No.
So,
the only thing
so no one can bamboozle about any price.
And so what do you do there? Remember that.
Okay, are you saying that possibly there could be a price reduction?
That is what I expect. If the country decides to put its ass together, let me tell you, they met some boys distilling fuel in some hideouts in the Niger Delta. You've forgotten? That the military, yes, the bunkers, they were, extracting and then producing fuel everywhere. What a country would have done if you couldn't do it with all the gigantic built refineries you have in the country.
Okay.
And you now have small-scale manufacturers
giving licenses
littered everywhere and all that. Why not give them license for them to now produce fear for you?
I think this is part of what the Act provides.
Hopefully, because we know that because the issue is that Nigeria we have laws. The problem has always been implementation.
But
because at the end of the day,
we are working on it because the president has set up. Excuse me, please. The president has set up a steering committee.
Yes.
To look into the implementation of this whole act.
Yes.
It's given them 12 months.
Since implementation committee was set up to administer 2009 agreement between ASU and government, it has never worked. I'm not pessimistic. I'm not Amos of the Bible. You understand? But I hope for the best for this country, that we know that all at the end of the day, a time was. I respect most time to divinity. A time was when in the Bible, it says money failed in Egypt. A time will come, no matter the amount that you have stolen or put anywhere, it will fail. That is the truth. And that is when God now comes and takes the center stage. The removal of subsidy, as it were, the way everybody is looking, what government even want to do is to, to shortchange the entire Nigeria. At that point in time,
we can't say that.
We no more can eat. I'm telling you, because the cost,
that's your opinion.
Where they are going to is my opinion. But the truth is, where the cost is going to be.
We should understand that
where the cost is going,
and so they should be well guarded.
Yes, where the
we can't say anything without.
Look at what I'm saying now. I say where the cost is going to. I'm telling you now, where the cost is going to be, because whatever goes up in Nigeria never comes down. You understand where the cost is going to be? But that's why I'm trying to legitimize on how to make petroleum a cheap product in this country. Do you understand? But the only thing I expect Nigerian government to be able to harmonize is now how do you control your borders?
Okay.
So that your petrol will not find its way out.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Thank you. Quickly, as we round off, what do you think is? What do you urge the steering committee to do? Because they have a period of 12 months, to look into this implementation process. What's your appeal?
First of all, is that I expect that they should carry the entire country along.
Without being apolitical?
Yes.
They should be apolitical.
Yeah, they must be. They must be with this, and then carry the entire Nigerians along. That is by disseminating information, letting everyone be transparent enough so that everybody will follow you. People will agree with what you are trying to do.
Okay.
That is one. Two, I mentioned one immediately about the steering committee must allow not only Dangote refinery to thrive, they must allow all the mini refineries you have in the Niger Delta to be able to come up and then license them, let them produce fuel, so that this fuel will not only be taken out and then crude oil taken out and refined and brought to us.
Okay.
Let we be able, and then they must look for a way to man our borders, because by the time the cost of petrol comes down, many of the countries within, that's our neighbors, of course, we benefit from the fuel, the cost. We are selling fuel internally here. So what I mean by that is that they should tighten our borders, look for a way to make sure that our fuel is not funneled out through our borders to our neighbors.
Thank you very much. Frank, what's your appeal and what are your fears, if there are any, over this steering committee being headed by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief TMI Presiva?
If I were to go by what particular thing, I cannot tell what the future would look like or would be, but by events of the past. I would say I have the same fears I've always had about anything in Nigeria.
Really?
Now, the steering committee has a mandate. It's not just about laws or drafting after it will be implemented. Their mandate is to ensure that within this 12 months period, the law takes effect fully, because there are some components that require certain unbundling, certain reforms to be done in certain sectors to take effect. So that's what they have mandate to do. They ought to make sure it goes full swing. But Nigeria being what it is, we are hopeful that that will not be the case. But when I peruse the law, the sections, about 319 sections across the 5 chapters of the Act, the points that the governors raised, they are very vital points that I was amazed that it went through the Joint Committee, the Article Committee, and possibly did not place premium on those. Because whether we like it or not, even if it's in the federalism, it's still a federation. Yeah, so it's still a federation, even if what the practice that they go to the center to collect. So NNPC does not belong to the federal government. It belongs to all of them. So, and the governments are afraid. That's why they raise complaints about 6 sections of the Act, 6 points. Section 9, Section 33, Section 53, Section 54, and Section 64. And they have valid points. For example, it's okay, you now say the Minister of Finance and Minister of Petroleum shall be the ones to do so and so and so. We are supposed to be partners in this thing. How can they just be the ones to do it on their own? Then on the issue of 30% to the frontier bases, which they raise, which pertains to Section 9, sub 3 and 4, it's very crucial because what they share as monthly, whatever goes to the different states, is from this same NNPC. Now, if out of what they share that they are complaining that is not enough, 30% is going to be committed to research for the unknown, in quotes, they are scared.
For the unknown.
Exploration. We are going to look for where it's not.
So it's known. It's known.
No, we are not sure you find oil.
Okay.
Oil majors have gone there before, they didn't find and they left. Okay. But our locals believe that they can find. And see, in the Act, they put it there. Because they know that no oil company will come and do it because experts have come and they couldn't find. They now say that NNPC will, that's why funds is being allocated for that purpose. Now, if the governors go to the Supreme Court, I can bet that this Act will be put aside immediately.
Okay, are you saying that you are not seeing sincerity of purpose on the part of government in that respect?
No. I'm not talking about sincerity of purpose. I'm talking about a case of, it's an oversight, an unfortunate oversight.
An oversight, okay.
Yes, because in doing anything you want to do, there's a ground norm. And lawmakers are supposed to be detailed about the ground norm. Any policy or law you want to make that is not in conformity with the ground norm has already hit the rocks before it started its journey. So if it's not in tandem with the ground norm, it's a case of wasting of time to put off such stuff. That's why I said that 30%, if it's going to go to the court of laws, to the Supreme Court of Interpretation, I'm not a lawyer, but from what I read written in English, I can bet that though there's room for review, and they're not going to court yet because in lawmaking, it's not everything that you have to go to court for. They can make regulations because there are 319 sections and 8 schedules in that. There's provision for regulations to be made to promote enforcement and everybody being carried along uniformly. So maybe within that purview, the governor's challenges will be addressed. But apart from that, we are hopeful that things will get better.
Thank you very much for taking the time to be part of this. Your final words on this, Idris Eka.
Well, I'm an incurable optimist and I believe in incremental progress. It's not a hopeless situation. I believe that in the next few years, we will see things will change significantly, differently. Dangote is coming on stream very soon. There's another big refinery, I think, in Port Harcourt. Then there are the small refinery, the one they call modular refinery. We have one in Edo State.
Of course, yes.
And in the next few years, fuel should be on the streets like we have water.
Like you said, we should maximize.
Yes.
Let me have my final word.
On the street like we have water.
Yes, then,
so that means to a great extent the prices will come down.
We should have to come down.
My last,
my
last take.
On the part of government, I think they should begin to think now. The traditional market, our traditional customers for crude. I will begin to, you see, Joe Biden becoming the president of the United States has immediately moved back 10 years back of the fracking progress that Donald Trump wanted. Donald Trump is all for exploration and oil and fossil fuel. Biden is alternative energy.
As a point of digression.
Yes, same with China. So our traditional customers, very soon they will remove their hands. So we must now begin to play the giant of Africa, both in our West and indeed by reaching out to our African neighbors and make Africa the centerpiece of our crude oil marketing.
Thank you very much.
If we do that, we'll be okay.
Okay.
Although I'm not,
Few words.
although I'm not Amos, but let me say their parochial politics has stolen the benefits and the soul of PIA bill.
Thank you so much for your candid words. Oh, well, let's
go by the others.
Okay, let's get your few words.
I was happy when you mentioned the Dangote refinery just now.
Okay.
Just a reference to the past. The same Dangote that Nigeria is now going to invest in 2007, Port Harcourt and Kaduna refinery were sold to Blue Star, anchored by Dangote, Zenom, and some other investors. Not in total, 51% stakes was sold to them at that time. Port Harcourt for $560 million, Kaduna for $161 million, some moving up to $721 million as at that time. Exchange rate was $120 million. Nigeria will still have owned these refineries about 50%. And the money we got then is more than the money we are going to borrow now, 1.5 billion to build, maintain Port Harcourt refinery.
Thank you.
That we're not sure when we are going
Thank
to
you. You've articulated the points. Big thanks for taking our time. Big thanks, Professor Julius Iyasele and Frankie Yosu, and of course, Idris Zekari. Well, I think as we see more in terms of the Act, the provisions, we hope to see brighter sides of the Act, and we hope to see promising future coming to reality for Nigerians. Just like one of my discussants did say, that we're going to have fear, we're going to have these products like water. So, well, we explore that opportunity, and that's the most we can take on this discussion. It's still TMI. Stay with me.